me with having more brain cells than that, my friend. Right, here we go. We should now be live.
I shall look.
Yeah, we are. Good, wonderful.
We are live. Nice.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome along. Sorry about that. Been a bit of a mess. Dropped the ball a little bit to start with. But it's all good. We are here. We are in pretty much middle Italy. Very, very beautiful part of Italy if you've never been. I'm fortunate enough to have visited some parts of Italy before, so it is a very, very beautiful country. And this is an especially beautiful part. As an old enemy has retired, I believe that's in the pit lane, not on track. No, because it's Marco who's on track, the McLaren. So, an old enemy retiring from the session. I don't know, maybe he has a quali ban or he doesn't feel like he's going to have the pace. So we'll wait and see on that front. I believe Scraffy is on an in lap, not a push lap, and the line through that corner would suggest the same. I believe Marco is on an in lap rather than a flying lap. Either that or he's a little ways off the pace that he wants to be doing. No, yeah.
I think we're in the phase of quali where everybody's done their laps and they're all coming in, so it's a bit awkward for the commentators.
I expect everyone is coming in. Yeah, we got a couple on outlaps actually. MKL, Deathlink, Edgin. In fact, Edgin's just started a lap, so I tell you what, how about we hop on board with Edgin? I think he's just about to start his lap now. Yeah, absolutely, feel free to do so.
Right, I mean, get on board. Where is it? That's the wrong one. Oh, I've already messed up. Okay, so we're going to come down the pit straight here. It's two small bends in it, shouldn't trouble drivers at all. Going to get nice and close to the walls to minimise the track distance though. We're here, coming up to turn one, it does bend before you get to the braking zone, makes it a lot more difficult. Going to get on the curbs here as well, you can use them. They are a bit high, but overall, you should be able to use them. Here, carry speed all the way through, just missed the apex a bit there. You're looking to improve that in this next lap after this. Here, just went a bit deep too as well. It's a difficult corner to get right, it's difficult to get on the throttle, difficult to actually spot your apex too. They're being uphill and so long. Here, gonna come through, carry the speed, get on the throttle the earliest possible. Down through Acqua Minerale, downhill into a steep uphill climb, just get on the throttle as much as you can. Going out, trying not to spin the wheels, he's done that absolutely perfectly there. Then here in the chicane, I don't know what it's called, but it's really tight. He's going to use the sausage curbs. No. Thank you, Ollie.
No problem.
Didn't use the sausage curbs as much as he could there, but I'm going to say that's what his line is, because Edgin's faster than me. Final two corners now. You can get the throttle a lot more than you think through here. It can get you a lot of time. It looks like he's done that quite well. Coming out the final corner now, getting a good exit. Let the DRS on as early as possible. Current speed, and that is a 1:15.522. Just off Scrappy by about 2/10.
Yeah, but I think there's quite a lot of time for Edgin to find in that lap. I mean, we saw, you know, there were a couple of apexes that weren't ideal as he goes for a little bit of a spin on the end there.
Ooh.
Oh, and that's going to be, there's going to be people that report him there, I expect, because I believe that there might have been someone on a flying lap in that sequence. I think it might have been Striker Boy who was on a flying lap who may have been impeded there, so he's going to have to watch out.
It is unlucky when people do that, so try to get out of the way of people on flying laps and you're just getting in the way. It is always safer to just stay stationary and let drivers drive around you, even if it does impede them. It's better than driving into the line.
So here we go, MKL in the Alpha Tower, he's coming to the line. It's a 16.4, he puts himself in 10th as it stands at the moment. Is that Penguin that we've got coming to the line? He is boxing as Marco retires on track. He's had a crash, actually. Let's get on with door to door. He's just spun it, coming over the crest there. Yeah, nasty place to have a crash. It's so easy. The rear of the car gets so light through that corner. He's not the first person, and I doubt he'll be the last to have a crash through there.
That means both McLarens are now out of qualifying, and neither of them have a set of time. So we're going to expect...
Here comes Striker Boy. Striker Boy does a 16.2, so that resigns the McLarens to the back of the grid. 16.262, exactly 1/100th of a second off of pockets in the Alfa Romeo. Striker Boy currently P9, although I expect, as DRC Jacob's about to come out of the pit, I expect he'll go a lot faster. He's pretty much... He's well known for being able to go quickly.
I was going to say, it isn't like him to be so far down the grid in 10th. I'd definitely say he's one of the top 5 drivers, depending on the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is very competitive here in Tier 1. Obviously with Scrappy Legend being miles away from anyone for some reason. Yeah, I mean the top part of the grid is very, very competitive, and it'll be hard to get a good position out of it. But Edgen has just set a purple sector 1 there. I'm still on board with him. I don't actually, that might be a bug, I'm not sure, but he hasn't got much ERS to play with anymore, so that'll heavily impede him. If he does plan on going through there, it does look like he's carrying a bit more speed through though.
And ladies and gentlemen, joining us now in the commentary box, we have got Productive Panda, a familiar voice here in Tier 1 recently, as MKL retires from the session in the twin AlphaTauri, although actually there's only one here this weekend. So MKL is the only AlphaTauri, resigns from the... How's he managed to... Oh, he's spun through turn 3.
Edgen was about 10th, 120,000 up, and he's improved his lap, but not enough. I don't think he saved his ERS before starting.
Oh, Scrappy's coming to the line. Hold on, this is going to be big from the Red Bull man. Is it a 14? It is. It's a 14.962.
Incredible lap.
What a lap from Scrappy. That is immense. Oh,
okay,
man.
I'm gonna jump in right here. Thank you very much, Ollie, for the intro. Ollie, Vlad, I hope you guys are doing very well. I apologize. I came in so late. I had a personal function that went on for a lot longer than I expected. But I hope you guys are all doing good. I see we are at Imola today, one of F1's most famous. Anything big happening so far?
Scrappy, so far, is the only driver out of any of the tiers to dip his toes into the 1 minute 14 bracket. The 14's generally reserved for time trial. So that's a very, very tasty lap for the Red Bull man to have put in. As is that Raid, who, yeah, Raid has managed to join Edgen currently. It's a 2-3 lockout at the moment for Alpine, although Igor is not far behind Raid. He is currently in the pits though, so we'll wait and see what he can do there. Oh, Jacob boxes. Jacob was on a lap there. He was 3.5 tenths up, and he boxes. That's an interesting decision to make. I thought he would have seen that out personally. Maybe not.
But he's got plenty of time left in the session.
He might be thinking. I was about to say, he might be thinking, that a brand new set of tires might do him even better. Just kind of testing his pace and seeing what he can do. But it all comes down here. We're not into the last 3 minutes yet, so they still have a bit of time before they have to go out on their final laps today.
Yeah, I think it's he knows what his pace can be. He knows where it can be with it, and he just probably wasn't proud of the lap that he would put together there. So he's coming back in pits, get refueled, get a fresh set of tires, and hopefully do what he really can do.
This is an interesting decision from Penguin. Sorry to jump in. This is an interesting decision from Penguin. He messed up his exit out of Acca Minerali, so he decided to slow down, recharge the battery, and he's gone for another lap. At this point, do you guys not think it would be better to come into the pits and strap on some fresh tyres? Because I don't know if he's going to have time to go out, do an out lap. I don't know if he's going to have time to do a flying lap, do an in lap, do an out lap, and get back to the line for a brand new set of tyres. I think this might have been a mistake from Penguin.
In reality, it probably is a mistake, but Ollie, this could be his last set of tires. We don't have that data, so we wouldn't know. But I mean, usually, yes, it would be a mistake. Maybe he comes in after this lap and will barely be able to scrape by another lap. We'll have to see if he comes in or not. But if he doesn't come in, this could be his last run, and he's trying to get it in before everyone else is on the track. So I have to see what he does, if he boxes here or not. But I mean, still decent lap from Penguin, but very interesting choice, Ollie.
Yeah, absolutely. And he does come into the pits. He was a couple of tenths down coming over the Sector 2 timing line. So I'm not surprised to see him come into the pits there. I just don't think that was quite working out the way that he really wanted it to at that particular moment. Sometimes you've just got to accept that the lap isn't coming together and just make the decision to pit in, which is exactly what Penguin has done. I think in his situation I would have done the same thing. As here we go, I think we're starting to get drivers coming to the line now. Have we got Edgen is on a lap. I can't see whether he's up or whether he's down. He's backed out, he's going again. It's going to be a 2-minute lap time, obviously very, very slow through the final second. No, it's not. What is going on? I'm so confused.
1:15.
Yeah, I just had that bug too. It's because Because that's exactly what his gap was from when he set this new lap.
Yeah, so the 15.4 has been there since his last lap. I think he's just come off of his out lap, and he's getting the weird thing where it says he's come off his out lap before he actually has.
Dude, that is a lot cleaner from Edge in there. He missed that apex last time. It looked overall like he just carried some more speed, but he is down.
Still 200ths down. Yeah, 200ths down. That is not what you want to see at all. And cars ahead, which also you don't want to see. Especially
space to improve, though.
Especially coming up to this tight part of the track. He's going to have to hope that this, I believe it's a Williams up ahead, gets out of the way, which indeed he does. Williams getting out of the way nicely there of Edgin. And he's 4/10 up now. 4/10. This could be close. This could be so very close. Edgin in the Alpine. He's coming to the line. Scraffy is behind him by about half a sector, I believe, as Penguin is the only man who's currently still in the pits, other than those who have retired and door to door. Here we go. Edgin, he's coming out the final corner. Oh, he spins! He spins! Edgin spins! In the Alpine, it's all gone wrong! Oh, Edgin, no!
His final chance.
Oh, the time was there! As Scraffy, his main competitor, now comes out the final corner. I don't think Scraffy's even going faster. No, he's not. Scraffy's way down on his time. Scraffy goes a 10th slower. Edgin had the time. Edgin was there. He needed that, and it just didn't come together as his teammate does a 15.5 to go third and secure that place as the Ferrari boys are split by just 0.06 of a second. Jacob ahead of Igor. Door to Door has come home in 6th with Penguin in 7th. Like Vegas is coming around to finish his lap. He is currently up, not by a lot, but up is up, as they say. So let's see what he can do. It's a 16.1, his best at the moment. He's improved. He's moved. Oh, he hasn't moved up, unfortunately. He stayed where he is. Deathlink, is Deathlink going to move up? Yes, he does. Deathlink puts himself in 7th, having found 0.25 of a second through the final sector. That is a very good lap from him. We've also got Striker Boy coming to the line. He moves himself up into 10th.
Just now 3 seconds down this time. He had another big mistake. He was still trying to push, maybe recover a little bit, and probably just secure P2. You know, I'm not sure there's really anybody who could challenge him now. Yeah, not a great qualifier from him. Obviously he's P2, you can't really complain, but at the last corner as well, it always hurts more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, go on,
just
Panda.
For interest's sake, I was on board with Scraffy the whole lap. Kind of just watching it, and seeing what he was doing, and he was actually at one point, doing really well, and it was looking like he improved. But he had a total of 4 extremely big snaps throughout the lap, showing that he might not be as comfortable with an extremely light car as we might think. And those snaps, it cost him 3/10 about each snap, but he was able to recover that time. So, it's one of those things of Edgin was going faster. I think it was 4/10 you said, Ollie and Vlad. But Scraffy, if he didn't have those snaps, he would still have been improving. So, our two, leaders, not having the best of weekends so far. But it's all going to be, well, I'm saying not the best weekend, there's still P1 and P2. But we'll have to see what happens in the race. I think it's going to be very competitive. But I think Scraffy, he might just have the edge over Edgin in today's race here at Imola.
Yeah, you can't win the race in qualifying, and the start here really does matter. Edgin didn't get the rest of the starters in Hungary, so I don't know if he's practiced it. He's just a bit more prepared for the start here, but it's going to really, really matter. It's a difficult track to overtake on. So if he doesn't get a good start, he'll be stuck behind for a lot longer.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is why I think this is one of the tracks where starting on the hard tyre is very much worth it, because overtaking is so difficult that even if the car behind is on mediums, realistically, as long as you have the DRS of the car ahead on lap 3, there's very little way that a car's going to be able to get around you, which is why I think starting on the hards here could well be a good strategy and moving to the mediums later in the race on lighter fuel. I don't know about you guys in terms of what you think we're going to see. I'm going to scroll quickly through the qualifying results because we've only got 30 seconds. So Scraffy in the Red Bull comes home in first, with Edin and Raid, the Alpine duo, coming in second and third, followed by the Ferrari duo of Jacob and Igor coming in fourth and fifth. The Aston Martin of Door to Door comes in sixth, with Deathlink seventh. Penguin, the Red Bull teammate, comes eighth, with Like Vegas and the Williams ninth. Striker Boy, the second Mercedes, comes home in 10th, with Pockets the reserve coming in 11th. MKL is 12th in the only AlphaTauri. Eck comes in 13th in the Williams, and the two McLarens both DNF'd and did not set a time. An old enemy and Marco going to be starting from the back of the grid. It'll be interesting to see what they can do. God, I feel like Eminem when I do that.
To be fair, I would see why you would feel like Eminem. It is quite a bit too rap, but I do have to say I'm pretty excited for this race. It's going to be very, very exciting.
Oh, hello. That is far darker. That is far darker than it was in qualifying. Are we going to see dry to wet? Could that be something that we're going to see? I think that'd be crazy. I'd love it if we saw that personally.
I didn't notice that. It is very, very dark. There is no clear sky at all. So chances of rain, I'd say definitely, yes. Guaranteed.
Yeah, it's like a winter day in Britain. Is it going to rain? Yes.
Yes, probably yes.
It's like any day in Britain.
Yeah, valid point.
Well, yeah, it's like every day in Britain. I should probably say, Ollie. But yeah, no, it's going to be quite an interesting race. I do know you guys say that it is a hard track to overtake on, and don't get me wrong, it is. But it has a main straight with a lot of DRS. You can make some moves into the hairpin, you can make some moves into the chicane. I know you guys won't agree with me, but I think if the drivers really commit, I think there is a lot of space for them to overtake. It's not going to be easy, but I think that we might see more overtakes than you guys think today. We've seen some of these drivers and we know they have talent, so we'll have to see if they can harness that.
Yeah, I don't think it was in terms of overtaking, yesterday in Tier 2, obviously Tier 2 has this reputation now, but there was a lot of moves being made even though they weren't.
Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights. It is going to be lights out, and away we go here in Imola. Scraffy gets a good start. Edgin not so much. In fact, Raid has had a better start than his teammate, and I believe has he moved ahead? Yeah, Raid has. He's moved ahead of his Alpine teammate. Into turn 1, he tries to make the move on Raid. It's not going to happen this time as Edgin fumbles a little bit. Door-to-Door has gotten past both of the Ferrari boys. A great start for him as Deathlink and Penguin battle it out further down the field. Oh, and it is busy.
Ollie, what a battle. Definitely Penguin. Penguin on the hard tire, definitely was soft, and definitely has now some positive.
Oh, Marco in the gravel. Yeah, contact with his teammate coming through the second chicane there. Not going to be particularly happy about that, I don't expect. As Scraffy has already got a second's gap. He's already got over a second.
I'll tell you what, that Scraff is only wrong.
I mean,
come back. Don't swim the side. He's looking for a move. He's looking for the P3, but yeah, that's went a little wide there. I say that, but Edgin's definitely receiving some pressure. Not a place for soaring quality. Just doesn't look like he's entirely switched on for the race start at the moment. But I think we'll probably see him start to recover very, very soon.
As Deathlink gets past Jacob coming through Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2. Nice little move there from Deathlink. Although I think he might be getting slipstreamed by Jacob. Yeah, Jacob goes back through and ahead. Almost 3 wide with Penguin, but I think that's going to be that at the moment. Yes, it is.
But I mean, Deathlink, Ollie, really interesting strategy from him, getting on those softs. A lot of options that he can do with strategy. Will he go for a dive here? Let's have a look. I don't think so. A lot of the strategies that he can do, we'll have to see. Does he try and go long? Is he maybe waiting for the rain? We'll have to see. We'll have to see what these drivers do in today's race. But most impressively, first of all, Raid still ahead of his Alpine teammate. Edgin, unfortunately, I think the previous few races not getting the best of starts. Maybe it's something he has to work on. Amazing pace, but his race starts just haven't been that good. My interesting thing is, Ollie and Vlad, why hasn't Edgin called for team orders and for Raid to let him free? We do know the Alpine team works together, so why wouldn't they use team orders at this stage?
I think Edgin is a big plus for team play, so I think he's realised Raid's had a better start. He's having a better race overall at the moment, so I think he'll let Raid have the position.
And also,
as long as he isn't catching him too much.
Yeah, and also at the moment the gap's pretty stable actually. DRS obviously is going to be enabled next time they come down that front straight. So maybe we're going to see Edgen close up this lap to get the DRS overtake next lap. And yeah, that's definitely what's going on as Edgen finds 2/10 through the first 3 corners. As Pockets, I think, has had a spin. Oh no, it's not had a spin, but he has had a double overtake against him. Like Vegas and MKL, both moving past the Alfa Romeo man. Not what he would have wanted at all.
Yeah, I think Edgen's really put his foot down now. He's right up the back of Raid. I'm not sure if we'll see Team Rollers or not. He will have DRS, obviously.
It was an accident.
Eck and Old Enemy have had contact at the hairpin Tamburello. They've both gotten moving again, but that puts them, a little way off the back of the field, and they're not going to be too happy about that, I don't expect. Not too happy at all.
For interest's sake, Ollie, Edgen going faster in Sector 1, but losing time in Sector 2. I'm showing, maybe that's not his strong point. But he was using a bit of ERS that lap. So we'll see what his lap time is. But Edgen definitely, wanting to get this DRS. We'll see, does he get past other team orders? Let's have a look now. Edgen really pushing that lap to try and get close. But I don't know if it's going to go for the
No, he's closed his DRS.
Yeah.
He closed his DRS really early, and behind, Jacob and Door-to-Door having a great battle. Oh, there's a little bit of bumping of wheels. I think they've managed to keep it together at the moment. Yes, they have, as Door-to-Door had the better run towards the second chicane. Oh, this is going to get tasty. Oh, they managed to hold it side by side, and I think Door-to-Door's come out ahead. Wow.
That was a great move from Door there. It was very tasty, as Ollie said.
Brilliant defence from the Aston Martin man there, and a beautiful little battle.
Sorry, Ollie, I apologise. Edgen outside of 1 second of his teammate. I think he had a snap or something, and he's now entering Sector 2 as well, which is his weak sector. If his teammate doesn't drop back, he will not have DRS. And Edgen 8 down on this lap, so definitely having a massive snap or a mistake of some kind. He's just about in 1 second now, but could he still lose that DRS?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see for the run through Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2. It looks like he's going to keep it. I think, he'll have that DRS assistance. Yeah, most definitely. And I think now, really, the Alpine boys have to work to pull away from Door-to-Door and Jacob behind. Igor, he has got the DRS. Is there going to be a move into turn 1? Igor gets past very early, and I think Door-to-Door just let him have it there. I think he knew there wasn't any point worth fighting against the DRS of the Ferrari at this stage in the race.
Yeah, and fighting and only helps so much. I think a very impressive decision from him. Rather say, I'll just stick behind. A Penguin F-Link. Penguin actually keeping up with Deathlink on that soft tire, which shows, it is hard to overtake on the circuit, and if you stay within DRS, it might be your saving grace. So beautiful driving from them as well, but not many close battles currently, except for the Ferraris and Edgen getting close now, backed up to his teammates, and we could see a pause here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really difficult because Edgen is just he's quicker in Sector 1 and he's quicker in Sector 3. But through that Acca Minerali section, he just drops a couple of tenths every single lap to Raid. And it doesn't really look like there's much you can do about it. We have got a nice little train forming up behind, all the way from 4th down to 8th. And although I'm saying that, I don't think it's going to be long until Deathlink has to come into the pits. I don't think those softs are going to hold on much longer. And Edgen, does he go around the outside of Raid into turn 1? Yes, he does. What a move, very late. Oh, track limits. Oh, and here comes the Ferrari. Edgen has a snap on the exit. Is Igor going to find a way through? Has Edgen gone too deep? No, it looks like he's going to stay ahead for now. Yeah, that's not what Edgen needed. It doesn't look like they were working together at that point as Door-to-Door tries it round the outside of Tamburello. Yeah, that's not worked out for him this time.
We were talking about, teamwork and team orders, but I mean, these Alpines, they are really going for it, aren't they? Also, Edgen, once again, outside of a second. He should pick it up, as I said, he's very quick through Sector 3. But if he doesn't get this, the chicane nailed through Sector 2, he could actually lose DRS. But he shouldn't, I don't think. No, he's back in. Oh, we just snap! That was a very small snap.
Oh, Door-to-Door picks up a 3-second time penalty Sorry to interrupt. Door to door picking up a 3-second time penalty, which in a fight that is this close, you can't afford. Because at the moment that would drop him from P5 to P8. Yeah, absolutely. And that is just that's the last thing that he would have wanted at this point. Edgin, no DRS. That's interesting. Is Igor going to consider a move? Igor. No, not this time. Not quite close enough into the braking zone to think about that move at this point.
But I'll tell you, Ollie, it's amazing to see Scraffy at the front of the field, 4.8 second gap. It's quite a large gap. You know, he's kind of avoided any attempts at an undercut, possibly. So very well done to him. Just showing, you know, it might just be one of Scraffy's favorite tracks. But yeah, really leading, and we haven't seen much of him on stream today as of yet. And we might only see him at the end when he wins. It could be a bit of a Max Verstappen dominance there that Scraffy is doing in the Red Bull. But I mean, this is a very interesting situation in this midfield, all the way down from P3 to P6.
Oh,
very close battles.
I just wanted to say, what we've missed is Penguin getting past Deathlink. I think Deathlink's tyres are definitely pretty much done by now. I'm not sure what his strategy is here. I don't know if he was hoping for an early-ish safety car that he could box under for possibly the hards, but it's not happened as of yet, and he is dropping a lot of time on corner exit specifically. He's dropping quite a little bit at the moment. He's managing to stick with Penguin at the moment as there's a yellow flag up the top of the hill. Is that Marco? Yes, it is. He's not got a front wing, and he's now driving the... No, he is driving the right way, sorry. From the camera's perspective there, it looked like he was driving back up the track. But yeah, no front wing for Marco, so he'll have to box.
Igor is right on the back of Edgin here. He is really putting some pressure coming through the chicanes. Don't think he'll have a look for a move up here. There isn't that heavy of a braking zone. But I just got to be really wary of what Igor might do. He is definitely within the range of a move here.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Igor was, I think, 4 attempts out of the last corner, close to Edgin, or is it 5? Sorry. So you know, it's one of those things of Edgin isn't in DRS. He's 1.3 away. Oh, sorry. He's basically 3 attempts away from DRS at this moment. Honestly, I'm telling you, if Edgin doesn't get DRS, this day isn't going to get good for him. Because Igor, you know, he is determined. He probably knows he isn't on Edgin's pace, but if he can get overtake of DRS, he's going to do it. You know, these are racers, and as I say that, 4 attempts, 5 attempts, he's going to be a bit far away, but it's still going to be a good exit. 5 attempts on the dot, out of the last corner. He has a DRS, Edgin doesn't. Will there be overtake?
Just say, Deathlink strategy is absolutely not.
Oh, there is.
Igor gets past very, very easily. Not too much trouble for the American or Brazilian.
As Deathlink puts on the medium tyres.
That is.
I feel like that's a questionable strategy.
His strategy is questionable. It works though, because he did lose 1 position while he was on the soft from where he started, and yeah, he just didn't manage to get what he needed out here. Obviously, choosing to go for the aggressive strategy, trying to probably make positions on the start or on the early laps when there's a bit more chaos, but it just hasn't worked out for him. And not only has he lost position on the soft tyres, he's going to go 6 positions down now in the P13 after he's pitted.
Yeah, and obviously the pit cycle will swing that back to him a little bit. He is going to be faster on the new mediums than the guys who have already done 8 laps. But then it will swing straight back the other way because the guys who are boxing will be going on to fresh hards and will be faster. Because I doubt that many of these guys are going to be thinking about boxing until lap 16 or 17 off of these medium compound tyres.
Ollie, I apologise for interrupting, but if you have a look at the main straight, Edgin is going for a move again. Funnily enough, Igor actually catching the other Alpine ever so slightly, so maybe Edgin saw that the Ferrari is faster, hopefully letting him pass, but Edgin's still not in that beautiful DRS range. I do want to ask, if I can, Ollie and Vlad, what lap can we expect this medium to go to? Whereabouts do you guys think we'll see the boxing period?
Well, from my racing yesterday, I think it can probably last a bit more than half the race. Obviously dropping a bit more pace coming at it, so you don't really want to extend for that long. But it can last for quite some time. I think I'm going to 12 laps, and it was only about 40%.
Yeah, I would
So-
expect the first people pitting, people looking for the undercut will come in lap 15. People looking for the overcut might not come until lap 17. Edgin's made a mistake. Igor looking to go around the outside of the chicane. That's not going to work for him, although Edgin's gone deep. Igor gets the switchback. Edgin spins! A spin for Edgin! Oh, it's happened again in qualifying and now in the race. That's not what he needed. Striker Boy goes past, and Igor's now got fresh air in front. However, he has got door-to-door directly behind him, and Edgin just, he's struggling so much. Out of the points. A 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits. That'll be removed. Don't worry about that, ladies and gentlemen. That one will definitely be removed. That is ridiculous. Because I can guarantee you it wasn't that bad.
His risk will be really affected in pits now, because he will have to serve a 5-second penalty. I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, no, he's pinging this lap.
Has he maybe got some front wing damage?
I'm
on board, so I'm going to see what happens. No, there's no change. He's gone straight to the hard tyres. Well, I mean, this is the undercut of the century. We'll see how this goes. I don't quite know what his strategy is here, because he's going to be quite a way off the back. We'll wait and see what he can do.
The thing is, Ollie, I mean, it is an undercut, but Edgin isn't undercutting Scrappy, if that makes sense. Edgin falling down that far, he's maybe undercutting, P9, P10. But unfortunately for Edgin, having that spin, Imola probably just isn't his track where he doesn't feel as comfortable, because it's a very unlikely mistake to make, I would say. Although I've seen some real life drivers do it. Someone like Edgin, you just don't expect it, so it might just be not his favorite track, or just a simple thing of the tires just weren't there for him. But I think hopefully we can get to ask him sometime, even if it is next week. We can ask him what happened.
Yeah, and
as Igor pits, sorry.
In Hungary, he practiced that was the only thing that mattered. After his spin and DNF and Paul Meyer decided he was going to win the race, and granted he did in magnificent fashion. But yeah, he hasn't practiced nearly as much as he did in Hungary, I don't think.
Yeah, so Igor is in quite early there. Lap 12 pit stop onto the hards. Maybe he's looking for the undercut to try and solidify his position ahead of door-to-door, or maybe even thinking that the undercut might bring him closer to Raid when Raid decides to box. So that'll be interesting to see. Anything to add on that front, Panda?
No, not necessarily. No, I think Igor, as you said, I think maybe solidifying his position. I know it is a bit early, but if the mediums can do 12 laps, the hards should be able to do 20. So it is an early box from Igor, but he's got clear air ahead for 9 seconds. So I think him boxing, I think it's actually I think it's a good thing. Kind of solidifying him in P3, and then hopefully once door-to-door boxes, Igor will have a decent gap to door-to-door, meaning he can hopefully stay in P3.
I think Jacob and Dor just traded positions there, fighting for the final podium position. And has dropped back a bit. Striker Boy now boxing. I don't know what tyres he's going on. I'll check that now. He's on the fresh hards.
Yeah, onto fresh hards, yeah.
Yeah, so P3 currently heavily contested between Jakob and Dor, only half a second gap between them.
Marco's out, Marco's out!
It's just going to be a safety car. It's a safety car.
It's a full safety car.
Full safety car.
Oh,
Edgin.
Igor.
As anything.
Oh, Igor. Oh, Igor's only just boxed.
Not having the best of days.
This is golden for everyone in the top. Well, anyone essentially
Top
at the
10.
moment in the top 10, apart from Igor, who's the only man who hasn't boxed. I reckon possibly you could strap on mediums and go to the end with 2 or 3 laps behind the safety car, and you could definitely put on hards and go to the end. So everyone's about to come into the pit lane. Be prepared for some significant pit lane action.
But I mean, Ollie, this, it's going to sound very strange, but you'll have to let me explain. This safety car actually suits Scrappy, because, I know it sounds weird, just trust me. The reason I'm saying it suits Scrappy is because, although the rest of the pack will be right behind him, because of his pace, once they get started, he won't have to worry about anyone else. If he gets a good start, he can just run away, and he'll know that everyone is on the same tire. No worries of undercut, no worries of nothing. So, in a weird way, a lot of people say, oh, this is bad for Scrappy because he's had such a big lead. But because of how fast he is, he shouldn't have any challenge, which means he should be able to not have to worry about undercuts, overcuts, anything like that. He can just drive his race, pull a 1 second gap, and do what he's done in the first half of the race.
There's a bit of chaos in the pit lane as well. A lot of swapping positions with, I mean, a lot of the road in the pit lane. Deathlink as well going in. That's what I expected of Deathlink, with Deathlink pitting for fresh set hards. Deciding that the mediums wouldn't have lasted to the end. It's going to put Edgen in the P12 now. Nearly P13, just misses out on an old enemy. But I think Edgen will be very, very happy. Just, it'll help him recover the positions that he lost.
I just wanted to mention, but actually I don't think this has been as painful for Igor as we were expecting. He's come out in 6th. Granted, it's 3 places behind where he was before the safety car came out. But it could have been a whole lot worse with the timing of that safety car. I think what did it was that Scraffy was so far ahead, and obviously once the leader catches the safety car, the delta disappears and you can drive flat out. And I think that's what meant that Igor has managed to overtake some of these guys that were still in the pit lane. Because being able to full push rather than being sat behind the delta it really frees up a whole lot of lap time.
Definitely.
And I mean, Ollie, you know, Igor, it isn't like he's going to stay down in P6. You know, Penguin, of course, on those mediums might have a good start, and he'll be fast for a few laps. But remember, Igor has some amazing pace. So if Igor can somehow get past Penguin, or Penguin gets past all of them, Ferrari could play the team orders. Say, listen, Igor's faster, let him pass, and Igor still has a chance of a podium here. He has good pace. He is fast. Anything can still happen, and I don't think we should write him out just yet. Also, on another note, I wanted to say this the whole day. Our championship leader, MKL in the AlphaTauri on the medium tires, hoping to finish up this race. What do you think of those mediums? I think Penguin has them, and then an old enemy as well. Will those mediums go to the end, Vlad? Or what do you think?
Has he had them on the entire race? Oh, not the entire race.
No, they're new.
Okay.
They're new mediums, yeah. All 3
it's
new
hard to
mediums.
say. You definitely can reach the end of the race. As I said, 12 laps on my racing, my setup, only did about 40%. So the extra, 4 laps really shouldn't pose too much of an issue. We will start to be very, very vulnerable near the end of the race with all the other drivers on hard, or a lot of the other drivers on hard, sorry. Because they'll start to go through the phase on the hards where it's very, very fast, and faster than the mediums, I'd say, while his mediums are old and worn and very slow. So he needs to really maximise the grip he has at the start of this phase now, and hold position as much as he can with how difficult it is to overtake on this track.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's important. Here we go, safety car coming in. Sorry, I'll shut up. I won't say what I was going to say. Yeah, well, we've got time. I think it's very important to notice that as much as the mediums are going to be very worn towards the end, I think they will probably also have enough grip at the start. Also, just because the hards take so long to warm up, and for these guys that have come out of the pits, they've not even had a chance to do a racing lap on them. They are literally, this is why we're seeing the field going so slowly, because they are desperately trying to get some heat into those tyres. And Scraffy goes, he's caught Raid sleeping. He has caught Raid sleeping. Raid is 8/10 off the back, 9/10 off the back. It's going to be pretty much a second, I would expect, by the time we get down to turn 1. No, Raid turns on the ERS to try and close up that gap a little bit more. But a brilliant restart there from Scraffy as Door to Door is hunting on the hunt for P2. Is there going to be a move into turn 1? No, there's not. Penguin stays behind Jacob as well.
And Penguin not going to be very happy about that. He was hoping to get a good start, and just unfortunately not quite able to do that. But as I say that, he is getting very close. Yellow flag sector 1, and I think that's Eek. Eek not having the best of races, unfortunately. But I do want to tune in, if we can, into Edgen again. He has Deathlink behind him, who has on newer hards, and then he has an old enemy on mediums. Edgen isn't in the most ideal situation, but he is faster than an old enemy as of current. But it's going to be a bit of a fight to get back into the top 10 for Edgen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always difficult when you've got the most worn tyres out of a group around you. Um, it gets a bit draining, you know, because you're pushing at the maximum that you can, and the other drivers, it doesn't feel like they're pushing, but they're going way faster, and it can get to the point where it gets a little bit old. Of being slower, even though you feel like you're pushing as much as you can. As Scraffy sets the fastest lap straight out the box on those hard tyres.
Blistering lap.
Yeah, that was it was a very, very quick lap. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes faster as we continue either. He's managed to put Raid out of his DRS. Scraffy doing everything he needs to do at the moment, just in cruise control out in the front.
And I mean, this is honestly, a lot of people say they find dominance boring, which I totally understand. But I think such an amazing display like we've seen today with Scraffy, it has to be admired. Oliver, we as commentators, we like to see action. We love to see overtakes. But I mean, such dominance, it doesn't happen a lot, and when it happens, you do have to admire it, because it just shows the driver's pure pace, that he can get break a second that quick. And for instance, he's only 5 hundredths away from his fastest time, which was the previous one. So you could still improve it by a small bit here through the last 2 corners. But yeah, no, I think this dominance, it has to be admired, because Scraffy really doing all he can and leaving everyone in the dust.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something that we've seen Scraffy do before, and I would be vastly surprised if it's the last time we see Scraffy do this, because he does just...
Engine has spun! Engine has spun!
Oh, engine!
Oh, has he gone again?
Yes,
oh,
he's dropped back down to P3. He's got 7.5 second gap now. Probably going to reach up to 8 seconds. He's lost a lot of time on the straight as well. So that advantage he had, or the help that he had from the safety car, is gone. He's pushing too hard in the dirty air of all the cars ahead of him.
As Raid gets a 3-second time penalty as well. Raid also picking up a 3-second time penalty, and that could be massive, because at the moment, all the way down to P12 is in one train behind P2. In fact, at the moment...
Imola, DRS has been enabled, so it could stay like that, Ollie.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the moment, those 3-second time penalties would drop them down, respectively, to, I think, P6, but maybe even P7 and P8. That's a heavy drop from 2nd down to 7th, and from 3rd down to 8th. So they're going to be kicking themselves for picking up those time penalties at this stage in the race.
Yeah, I saw him doing the same thing I do on with my wheel when I'm getting angry with myself. Just weaving side to side really quickly. It's just not happy with himself, and it's obvious why. He had a good chance of maybe even getting points again. Drivers ahead, but he just, I'd say it's probably just with the dirty air. Didn't expect to have that little grip pushing as hard as he can, and it's just messed it up. And don't think there's really anything to do to recover now. He has got good pace, but there's no pace in this world that's good enough to catch up 10 seconds to somebody who has, well, who's equally still pretty fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And the DRS train being broken at the moment as Igor drops over a second back from Jacob. That's a little bit of a saving grace for Raid and door-to-door at the moment. If that gap doesn't shrink a little bit more, then that's how it's going to... Oh, and it's only shrunk, sorry, because Igor has made a move on Penguin to move up into 5th. So I expect that DRS train will be fully reformed again by the time we get back to the main straight. We'll wait and see. Oh, it's Jacob drops out of the DRS in front as well. Oh.
Yeah, I think Jakob was trying to put his teammate back in the DRS, and he just ruined it for himself, really. It's quite unfortunate, and I'm not sure if Igor even got DRS there.
Jacob has DRS, I believe. Jacob does actually have DRS, so he's still in that train. So, sorry,
his
lad.
teammate doesn't, though.
Check that. Oh, his teammate doesn't. Just outside of a second as well.
Penguin getting overtaken on the straight by MKL as well. MKL on those mediums starting to make a little bit of a presence of himself. Are we going to see much more from the AlphaTauri man? We'll wait and see.
I do have to say, Ollie, MKL, he's been doing great. Of course, he had that race win, but in Portimao, I believe, But genuinely, just for MKL, he's setting up the season to be really good for AlphaTauri and for himself. Being the championship leader, AlphaTauri currently leading. I don't think it's going to stay like that for long. But MKL, really solid performances, always in the midfield. So well done to him. Really, really doing very well for himself and for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. The DRS train at the moment, Igor's still not quite there. Oh, there he is. He's had a very nice run through the Variante Alta at the top of the track. And he is back in the DRS train, and that restores it all the way down to 7th. Striker Boy at the moment, the only driver who is out of that DRS. And he, in fact, might be about to get overtaken by Pockets in the Alfa Romeo. I don't want to show bias, but go on, Pockets, make the move.
MKL, they're second fastest lap. P6 for MKL at the moment, championship leader.
Pockets.
Won't keep him ahead, but it does help him.
Forced to the outside line, doesn't make a difference for Pockets. Through he goes. Legend.
Beautiful overtake from Pockets there. As easy as you'd like. Pockets just cruising on past. And Striker Boy, nothing to say for it. Yeah, but that DRS train braking at Penguin now. Penguin falling out of that 1 second. Or does he? Oh, he's barely in.
He's barely back in.
He's barely. But I mean, those penalties shouldn't drop Raid and door to door too far down now. It'll still drop them, but that gap is slowly growing.
I did say there's no pace in this world to catch somebody.
Yellow's
who's
in
9 seconds ahead
sector
of you.
2. Eck goes round again.
But Edgen here is caught up 5-ish seconds now, very, very quickly. It won't be points for him, but it just showed that he is catching he is catching enough to maybe get in the points. It would be very, very difficult for him. No, Deathlink is very, very pacey. The final point position there, but it definitely isn't impossible as long as he can keep this up.
Oh, here we go. Is MKL going to make a move on Penguin? Not on Penguin, even on Igor. Indeed it is. Is he going to try and go all the way around the outside? MKL. Wow, what a move. What a move. Outbraked and hit that apex perfectly well. Perfectly, as MKL in the AlphaTauri moves up. He's now sandwiched by the Ferrari boys. I'm sure he'll be looking to get a bit of a move on there as Deathlink goes past his Mercedes teammate. I think that may have been some team orders there coming down into turn 1. Which would make sense because I think at the moment Deathlink is the faster driver and they both need to get past Pockets.
I do have to say, Ollie, those types of moves are why I like MKL so much, because you could say what you want. You could say he isn't, on Scraffy and Edgen's level, but he's a very consistent driver. As Eck retires from the session in the pits, he retires in the pits. But yeah, MKL, he is a consistent driver. He's consistently in that top 6, top 5 battle. Of course, you can't say, oh, he's on the mediums. Of course, he's there, he's faster. And to an extent, that is true, but MKL is still an extremely consistent driver. And definitely an applause for him. As Scraffy casually sets a 117 for 6.
And goes a second faster than the previous fastest lap time.
That was his push lap, and now he's just going to go and chill.
No, that's Eck. He retired in the pit lane, but his AI came back out on track.
Oh, my apologies then.
Classic. As Jacob has made the move past door to door. Sorry, I completely missed that. The Ferrari man getting past the Aston Martin of door to door and putting himself up into 3rd, or what would effectively be 2nd at this point, as Raid does still have that 3-second penalty to serve.
And I do have to say, door to door, he didn't really fight it. He just kind of wanted to let the Ferrari by. And for good reason, I don't think there was any worth in fighting it. But MKL is now back in that DRS of door to door. And you know what? We could see MKL go on and challenge these guys if they aren't quick enough.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see him getting up there and challenging those guys at the front. He's got the pace, and I think if he'd had a better qualifying, he would have been well up there in terms of the race at the moment.
But I mean, to be fair, Ollie, MKL his qualifying I would say isn't his strength, but his race pace really, really well done. Door to door, getting close to the Ferrari ahead. not being able to do anything just yet. And that gap between Jakob and Raid is stretching. Jakob needs to really put his foot down now to try and get that gap down, because if he doesn't, then Raid could pull that 3-second gap and still maybe get P2. Although for Ferrari podium wouldn't be too shabby. I'm pretty sure the Ferrari boys would be content if they can get a podium out of this.
Yeah, absolutely, I would expect so. I'm just going to check in on the current Tier 1 standings. I believe we've had them come through since the last race. Yes, we have.
Yep.
So at the moment it is AlphaTauri leading the way, but only by 5 points, and at the moment this result would put Ferrari back ahead of the AlphaTauri boys for P1 in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull would find themselves closing the gap a little bit to AlphaTauri and to Ferrari. In fact, they would find themselves closing the gap a little bit to both of those teams as it stands at the moment. But I believe the drivers, I don't think it would change. No, I don't think Scraffy wouldn't be scoring enough points, I don't think.
MKL going for a move on door to door, and he is passed on DRS on the straight. MKL not even asking any questions and getting past pretty easily.
So,
beautiful for him.
Yeah, sorry to say, but if it finishes as it does at the moment, Scraffy and MKL are equal on points halfway through the season.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
If it finishes as it is at the moment. We will be heading into round 6 with the top 2 tied on points.
And Edgen here is close right up to the back of Like Vegas. Looking for the P12 position. Is gaining more time by every corner. One's where he'll make the move. He will have DRS down the pit straight. Obviously, not really the rest of what I wanted, but can't complain about getting positions back and maybe getting closer to points. Did say it wasn't impossible, but it looks like it might just be. There is a massive gap between him and points now.
Yeah, it needs.
I mean, anything can still happen. So we'll have to see if Adrian can still pull something out.
He'd need to find 5 seconds in the last 6 laps if he managed to get past Like Vegas here, which would definitely be a bit of an ask, I think. We'll wait and see though. It is Edgen. I've seen stranger things happen, you know. So we won't. We'll hold our breaths on that one, but I doubt it at this stage, unfortunately. As he gets past Like Vegas, and Igor gets past Door to Door, or does he? I think Door to Door's had the better run coming towards Tamburello. He tries it around the outside. That's not going to work. Does he go for the switchback with the better exit? He does. I don't think it's going to have worked though. No, unfortunately not. For Door to Door, he's going to have to stay behind. And that 3-second penalty at the moment will only move him down to P7. Not too bad. It could be far, far worse.
But now the thing is, Ollie, very crucial here. The gap between Igor and MKL is 1.4 seconds. So if MKL can theoretically just stick in the DRS of Jacob, and they stay ahead of that other Ferrari, as I say, that the gap gets a lot smaller. But if that can happen, then MKL really has a very good chance of a P4 or even P3. We could see a last lap overtake from MKL on Jacob. Anything can still happen. That's what I'm saying. And as I'm saying that, MKL has his DRS open. He had his overtake on there for a second, and we could see him go for a move here. Yes, he is. Around the outside into turn 1. Is MKL going to make it work? And yes, he does. Pretty easily.
Same
Jacob
move again. No, Jacob not fighting it. And this is where it's going to get interesting. As I believe that's Like Vegas retiring in the pits. Yes, indeed it is. Like Vegas pulls into the pits and retires. As MKL sets a fastest Sector 1, just over a tenth up on his best lap time so far. He's closing the gap to Raid, which isn't what Raid is going to want to see. Raid is going to want that gap to be as big as it physically can at this point. I think it's actually working. He's gained about 0.3 of a second through there, as I think maybe MKL's tyres are now starting to go over the wrong edge of tyre wear.
But I mean, MKL, even if he gets overtaken again by Jacob, he could still, I think, easily just stay in the DRS train and just keep his head up and just keep it clean. It's for MKL, a result P4, P3 would be massive. So, really well done from him. Funnily enough, Ollie and Vlad. Scraffy out ahead, not pulling as big of a gap as we usually see. Is it safe to assume that he's just kind of on cruise mode, not taking any risks?
Yeah, you wouldn't really want to at that point. 4 seconds ahead, you don't need to take any risks. Can we just talk for a second about the biggest winner of this race, MKL? 9 positions gained since the start. Yeah, he's had a really good race. Up in the pole positions now. You couldn't really ask for any more. But I don't know who to expect who's the biggest loser of today's race. Edging 10 positions lost since the start of this race. Not been good for him. He is catching, but I don't think it'll be points for the man today. Not what you expect after he had such a great race in Hungary, but just don't think it's his day today.
Yeah, unfortunately not for Edgin. It started strong, and then, I mean, oh wow, it didn't particularly start strong either with a spin in qualifying, which would have seen him to the top as door to door, picks up another 3 seconds. That's a total of 6 now. That's going to drop him out the points. That would be a real kicker for door to door if that drops him all the way out of the points, which at the moment it just about would, if my maths is correct. I think it is 3, and
yes, it would.
Yes, it would only just by the skin of his teeth he'd be out the points. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with that one. But Edgin, just the spinning qualifying on what was shaping up to be.
He's pitting now.
Is he going? No, he's taking fastest lap off of Scraffy.
That is. I think that might be a bit petty of him.
He's boxing. Watch him put softs on. There he is. Yeah, he's going for fastest lap.
That's a brave call from him. Has he saved enough ERS though? Go on board.
Yeah, he has 42%. And I mean, he can do 1 or 2 outlaps, and then he can go for a push lap. I wouldn't honestly, Vlad, I wouldn't say it's petty. I think it's one of those things of, in this championship battle, he doesn't want Scraffy to get that full 26. At one point, could be the difference in a championship decider.
That is true.
So anything can still happen. And as I said that, Igor has now gotten back into the DRS train of MKL, Jacob, and then himself. So that's going to be a very interesting battle to have a look at a bit later. But Edgin, personally, I don't think I would have boxed there. But he's trying what he can. And I can't blame him, honestly, cannot blame him at all. Fast lap, not a lot of points, but at one point can be a difference. Also, just quick thing, Scraffy is lapping 8 tenths slower than his fastest lap, so that would explain the significant drop in pace, because he just wants a drop in pace. Folks, he hasn't gotten slow all of a sudden, he just wants to not go as fast.
And I would like to note that at the start of the previous lap, the gap was 1.2 seconds from Raid to MKL. That gap is now 1.8 seconds. That is a 6th, 10th gain, which is exactly what Raid needs if he wants to solidify that P2 or possibly get still a top 5 finish. He needs to find as much time as he can, and the gap is just getting bigger at the moment. He's managing to find time pretty much everywhere. As the gap is now up above 2 seconds, and it's going to stay there, I think. Yeah, it will. Up to about 2.2 seconds. And Raid finding a lot of time where MKL's tyres are starting to wear. And Jacob is right behind him. I have a funny feeling we might see a DRS move from Jacob here with 2 laps to go. I don't know if he makes it now or if he makes it on the final lap. But this could be interesting. If these guys fight too hard, then it would only secure Raid's position. So we'll wait and see what happens.
I do think to an extent Raid's position is already secured. But the thing is, remember, Ollie, MKL's battle isn't with Raid. MKL doesn't want to battle with Raid. He's as the Ferrari of Jacob gets very close there. MKL wants to get in the top 4, and he might just do. Jacob gets a massive snap and drops back into P5 now. His teammate gets past him. I don't know if the stream saw that, but I mean, Jacob having an absolute terrible exit there out of the hairpin, losing the rear end, and now going back into P5. It was something else, wasn't it?
The gap is 2.7 seconds. The gap is 2.8 seconds. It's going up. It's going up. It's going up. Raid is gapping MKL rather considerably at this point. He might just be able to secure that P2 just on his own pace. I think those 17 lap old mediums are just not holding it together as of right now for MKL. Is Igor now going to have a go down the front straight? Is he going to try and be the man who comes home in that final podium position? He's 5/10 back. It might be a little bit far. We'll wait and see. As your leader, Scraffy, in the Red Bull, crosses the line to go on to the crosses the line to go on to the final lap. I know we've not spent a lot of time on board with him, but that's because he has essentially just been relentless in his lap times and in his cleanliness. I doubt he's got a single off track, and I don't think he's had many moments of oversteer or significant understeer, and it's just working for him now. He's able to just cruise to the end without too much of a problem.
And just very quickly, Ollie, I apologise, but I'm going to interrupt you because the gap between MKL and Raid, 2.6 seconds. If MKL can give it his all in these corners, and he doesn't go to 3 seconds, we could still see an MKL on P2. It's unlikely, but MKL has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corners to go. It's 2 tenths, 5 corners, 2 tenths. 1 tenth for now.
Oh my days.
MKL needs to give it his all.
Oh, this is going to be insane. The gap is almost 3. It's so close to 3. It's not
3.
quite 3. Oh, it's coming back down.
Back here as well. If you just want to, if you want to go on ball with door to door, he's really pushing to find a move with on. It was almost.
Is Raid going to get it? Hold on. I don't think he's going to. No, Raid isn't going to get it, but he's going to come home P3 because I think the gap to Igor isn't enough. Raid comes home P3. That is so close. He missed out by 1.5 tenths for the P2, and he was just 2 and a bit tenths ahead of Igor for P3. The Ferrari boys finishing 4-5. MKL will retain his lead in the Tier 1 Championship as it stands at the moment. He's going to retain that lead, bringing home 18 points this race. Scraffy bringing home 25. He closes the gap by 7 points.
And I mean, wow. Sorry, I'm lost for words. The fact, first of all, that MKL did that, I think is amazing, and I think we genuinely give him a round of applause. Very well done from MKL. Second of all, Scraffy, absolute dominance today, guys. I think we can really give him that one. And then Raid, of course, having the drive of his life. Very unfortunate not being able to get that P2, but still, you know, I mean, all in all, Ollie Vlad, I think that was an amazing race. Absolutely stunning. And a lot more exciting than I think you two thought it was going to be.
Driver of the day, presented by the game there. Very well deserved from 10 positions gained in the end. It's just a really impressive race from. I'm not sure who had a better race, Scraffy or MKL. I mean, personally, I would like to be Scraffy more than MKL because he's stupid fast, but you can't fault MKL for having such a good race today.
So,
10 positions gained.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to do the grid rundown for the end of that race. Coming home in P1, starting P1, Scraffy winning by 7.432 seconds. A dominant race from the Red Bull man. Without that safety car, I don't even want to think about what the gap at the front would have been. MKL gains 10 positions from 12th on the grid to come home second in the AlphaTauri, and certainly from us, the driver of the day, without a doubt. Raid started third, finishes third in the Alpine, some points that he desperately needed. Igor and Jacob, the Ferrari boys, come home in 4th and 5th, with Penguin coming home in 6th in the other Red Bull. Door to door, not a great race for him, in fact one he'll probably want to forget, coming home in 7th in the Aston Martin and losing a position compared to where he started. Pockets, the Alfa Romeo reserve, gains 3 to come home in 8th, with Striker Boy and Deathlink, the Mercedes duo, coming home in 9th and 10th. An old enemy in the McLaren comes home in 11th and is the last man on track, apart from Edgin in the Alpine. Both of the Williams boys retiring, like Vegas and Eck, both leaving this race, and DNFing, and Marco in the McLaren also taking a DNF towards the end there. We are now going to bring in our third place finisher, Raid, into the comms box. Hello, Raid.
Hello.
First of all, congratulations. What a race.
Thank you.
I mean, you got Edgin off the start with what we all agree here was a brilliant start. The traction was great for you compared to your teammate. And from there, you just kept your cool, you know. Edgin managed to stick with you for a bit, and then he dropped out, and you were clear of the DRS, and you just got your head down and did what you needed to do. How do you feel the race went?
Yeah, it went well. Basically, how you explained it, just calm and collected. The 3-second penalty is a bit shit, but you know, still third. I drove my ass off for the third, so I guess I rather have a hard-fought third than an easy second.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we were watching that 3-second penalty towards the end of the race. It was me and Panda were counting every time the 10th of a second, even the 100th of a second moved. We were counting it and saying it on stream. Because it was.
Maths have never been that good, Ollie. Or maths have never been that good.
No, absolutely, and I don't think it ever will be again. To be quite honest with you, but yeah, we were watching that with absolute intensity, and it was just so close, just 1.5 tenths that you needed, and it looked like you might have it as you came through the Ravatsas, but MKL with just a slightly better exit out of the final corner, which sealed the deal. A good result for you, not so much for Edgin, your Alpine teammate. Do you have any comments on that one, or do you think today just wasn't his day?
I was struggling with Imola, the all practice and everything. So you know, not everybody has their tracks. I had my 3 tracks, and this calendar weren't my best as well. So I had to sit one out to just you know, get some recollection of what the fuck am I doing. But you know, podium right now, so it's good. I'll keep improving.
Yeah.
And then if I may ask Raid, sorry Ollie.
No, don't worry.
If I may ask Raid, you know, we were wondering at the start of the race, will there be team orders? You know, will you let Edgin pass to hopefully chase Scraffy? You know, would you keep him in DRS? You know, fall back purposefully and keep him in DRS? None of that happened. Was it just a case of you guys, you know, not wanting to do any of those tactics? Or, you know, do you guys not even think about anything like that? What was the situation like?
I mean, we had in mind to prioritize me, but you know, like Scraffy catching up and then, or like pulling out. So we were like looking what was going on, and then I mean we tried something in the first corner, but it didn't really work out. So we just kept it going like that. That probably was our biggest mistake in this race. So maybe we should improve on that, but yeah, not really anything else.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, thanks a lot for joining us, Raid. I hope next week goes a little bit better for Edgin, and maybe without the time penalty we can see you standing on the second or even on the top step of the podium next time out in Austria. So thanks a lot for joining us in the commentary booth. I expect we'll see you next week back here at the same time.
Hopefully so, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Yep.
Right, joining us next is going to be our second place finisher, MKL. He is dropping into the comms box now. Hello, MKL. An astounding race from you. I mean, you are by far our driver of the day here in the comms box. Qualified P12 wasn't a great qualifying session by your standards, but the race was just immense. I mean, 10 positions gained, turn 1 a favourite hunting ground, and it just looked like it was easy. You were carving through the field without too much problem. How do you feel the race went?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, the quality was awful for me. Yeah, just made a mistake, spawn, hit the wall. That's it, actually. Did not expect after quali, especially to finish that high. But yeah, so intense race for me. Yeah, that was just crazy.
I would like to say, MKL, I have a massive bone to pick with you, because at this point, you know, you are my favorite driver on the grid, but you do keep lying to us, because you won Portimao and you were like, no, this is luck, it's never happening again, right? Then we go over to Hungary and you casually put it to P3. And then, you know, we go here, and after you, by the way, personally, said that this isn't your greatest track, and you go ahead and put it on P2. So, are you purposefully lying to us? Should we just expect you to be this high up every time? Because I mean, at this point, it's just ridiculous. You know, it's these performances you're putting in. are amazing. How on earth you were able to stretch those mediums for 18 laps, I think it was. It was just, it is honestly one of the most impressive drives. Well, no, some of the most impressive drives I've been seeing from you. So yeah, genuinely from my side, really well done on today. 10 positions gained. It's definitely some work you put in on those mediums, just in the race in general.
Yeah, I actually have no idea what the tire wear was. I was just so focused on just racing. I was trying to keep the gap between me and Rate. And yeah, that fight with Ferrari was also very intense. Yeah, just a good race for me. A bit of luck maybe with that safety car. At the beginning, I actually didn't think that I will manage to finish on that set of mediums. But yeah, that was just a good stint for me, and yeah.
So we are going to Spielberg, the Red Bull Ring next. Now, whatever you're gonna say, I'm gonna turn on its head because I know you're probably going to be lying to us. So if you say it isn't fitting you, I'm expecting you to win the race, and if you say it fits you, then I'll expect you to do at the bottom of the points. But how do you feel about Austria? What do you think you're going to be able to do, and how do you feel about the track?
So in that case, that is my one of the favorite track.
Oh no, he's gotta win. This is going to be domination.
No. I actually don't know. I will try to practice a bit, of course. And yeah, I have to improve my quality pace for sure, because I'm not very happy about it. And yeah, just focusing now on the next race.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Focusing is the right thing to do.
Thanks a lot, MKL, for joining us. I expect, knowing your pace, that you will be back in this comms box again come the end of the race in Austria. So I wish you all the best for the Red Bull Ring race. Have a good rest of your week, and I expect we'll see you back here again before too much longer.
Yeah, you too. See you next time.
Yeah, thanks a lot for joining us.
Yeah.
And now joining us is going to be the Tier 1 race winner. Here he is, the man of the hour. It is Scraffy, number 93, the Red Bull driver, and it was an absolutely incredible race for you today. How do you feel that it went, Scraffy?
Good race, very good race.
Really? Is that all? Is that just...
I mean,
good race, very good race. We needed a bit more information, Scraffy. We can't read your mind. Like, it's a commentary box. Tell us, how was the race start? How was qualifying?
No.
How was the pit stop? Were the crew smelling nice? Give us the information.
Shut up. Okay. Let's start off with I would say the qualifying was the best part of the race, since I would say all the laps that I didn't bottle none of them, what is extremely rare. Because usually I bottle my first lap and second one as well, and maybe I can get the third one in. But this time it was actually going really smoothly, I would say. So, quality was really good for once. Then the race, that just was. I did my thing, drove the car. Had no practice for the race. I only did the quali, so the first laps were kind of bad. The car was really, I would say, the setup was good, but it was really alive. Like, one mistake and it had insane wheel spin. I almost pinned it like twice. During the safety car restart, I almost pinned it, I remember. And then it was in the sector 3 as well, like once. So yeah, I would say generally good race. I don't know what happened behind me, because I think there was some effect, as I understood. So I would say from my POV it was a good race, but I would have wanted to have some battles, to be honest, since it was kind of boring to lead every lap, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it was a good race. It wasn't the best race, since it wasn't that fun. So yeah, it was just a good race. Thank you.
think that's the amount of information we need. How are you feeling about our next race out in Spielberg? Of course, in the standings, you are definitely putting yourself up there. I'm not quite sure how much you'll have in terms of MKL. We'll have to do some math on that, Ollie. But Scrappy, how are you feeling about Austria? 5 points. 5 points behind or in front?
I actually don't know. Last time I drove there was when I was driving in BSL. It went quite bad, I would say. Since the track itself is, I would say that Sector 2 is fun to drive. Sector 1 is completely bullshit because of Turn 1 and Turn 2. No, Turn 3. They're both so RNG. So yeah, track itself is good, but within the game it's bad. So yeah.
Okay, well I guess we'll have to see. Ollie, Vlad, any questions for our beloved Scraffy?
None from me. Just, good job on your race, Scraffy.
Thank you.
No, yeah, nothing to follow up with from me here either, other than, yeah, just a massive congratulations. I mean, one of the most dominant races that we've seen so far in Tier 1. So, yeah, massive congratulations, and I expect we'll see you here next week after the race in Austria.
But I just hope I don't DNF again like in last race. So then it's all good. As long as I don't DNF, I'm all fine.
I do want to ask, if I may, Scraffy, usually at the end of your comms box sessions, you have a small rant about something that is either irritating you or that you don't like. Is there anything you would like to rant about today, or can we have a rant-free comms box exit?
Whoa, wait, let me think. Give me a second. Let me think. Well, considering today is Sunday and tomorrow is Monday, it means that Sunday is a good day since it's a weekend. But considering tomorrow is a work day, then I would say it's a bad day. So in the end, we are having a bad day because we are heading into the new week. So yeah.
And add that one to the reports box. Add that one to the reports box. Scruffy, thank you so much. Ollie, you can take it out for us.
Yeah,
Bye.
Thanks a lot, Scraffy. I expect we'll see you here next week. Have a good rest of your evening. Ladies and gentlemen, that is everything for the Tier 1 race here in Imola. It has been a delight to be joined in the commentary box this week by Productive Panda and by Vlad. I hope you guys have enjoyed it this weekend. So thanks a lot everyone who has tuned in. It has been an action-packed race weekend here in Italy. Join us as we move a little bit further up the European continent, moving our way up into Austria for Red Bull's home race, which I'm sure Scraffy is aware of. As we move to the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, the heart of Austria. Join us next time for what I'm sure is going to be another amazing Tier 1 race. Same time, same place, next Sunday. See you in a bit.